Hello and welcome back to ECS Coffee. My name is Rebecca and I'm here in our Burlington location today to go through some of the similarities and some of the differences between the new Smeg Manual Espresso machine and the new Delonghi La Specialista Arte Evo. Long name. Remember to subscribe to our channel if you want to stay up to date with us. It really helps us out, and like this video at the end if you enjoyed watching it. So to start, both of these machines are semi-automatic espresso machines. They have a grinder on board and portafilters. The Smeg Manual Espresso machine will come with a 58mm portafilter, while the Delonghi La Specialista Arte Evo will come with a 51mm portafilter. So you get a little bit of a bigger size when you go with this Smeg. The thought behind having a larger size portafilter is you have better distribution of your espresso grinds horizontally as opposed to a vertical distribution, because you will be dosing around the same amount of coffee, whether you're using a 51, 54, or 58. It's just about how it's being distributed within the portafilter basket. The Smeg is slightly taller than the Delonghi, as you can see. I'm gonna pull out my measuring tape and let's get the specs for you guys. I remember the Smeg being a little bit taller than most. Yeah, and it is. It's just hovering around 17.5 inches high, whereas the Delonghi is 16. So it's quite a bit smaller there, about 1.5 inches in difference, which can make a big difference when you're trying to sit it on your countertop. The depth is about the same on both, so they're probably going to be, yeah, they're both about 10 inches deep, which is pretty standard when you're looking at a semi-auto espresso. Oh, actually, the Delonghi is 13 inches deep. Still fine to put on a countertop. It's just because of the position of the water tank that the Delonghi is a little deeper. Smeg's width, we're about 1 foot. Delonghi's width, we're about 1 foot as well. So same width. Both machines will also have pressure gauges to be able to monitor the espresso as it's pouring, watch it come up through the pre-infusion, and ensuring that you get up into that optimal range for your pressure. If you're falling too low or too high, you'll know based on not only how the espresso is pouring, but based on the gauge as well, whether you need to make some adjustments on your espresso. These machines also get dialed in differently. They have different programming settings. So let's take a look first at the Delonghi and have a look at what its programmability looks like, what programmed beverages it has, and other things like that, how you're going to dial it in. So if we come on over here to the Delonghi La Specialista Arte Evo, you're going to see we have a dial and a bunch of buttons along the side with another dial. This first dial is going to be the dose amount. So that's how much coffee is actually being ground into the portafilter. So that's going to affect how your espresso pours as well. You can have too much or too little of that. The next button beside it is going to be what you're dosing for, whether you're dosing for a single or double. The OK is going to be for pouring your beverage or entering into and going through some other programming with the machine. This is your temperature setting. It's really easy. You have 3 different temperature settings. Over here we have our programmed beverages and 1 cleaning cycle on the machine. So on the Delonghi we have hot water, Americano, espresso, and cold brew, which is one of the amazing upgrades that this machine got. So this machine has many more programmed one-touch buttons than some other semi-automatic espresso machines have, especially with the cold brew function and the one-touch Americano, which is great. Over here we have a button for steaming, so instead of using a knob or dial to activate the steam one, it's just a little button, which is very nice. With the Delonghi, you also get a dosing kit, which was I really liked when I first did the review of this machine, which we'll just link it in the top corner for you, and you can click through there. But you get a dosing funnel and a tamping guide, so this makes sure that your coffee grinds aren't spilling all over the place, and it also helps you to make sure that you're dosing down and you're level. I personally prefer to tamp without the dosing funnel on, but that's just a personal preference. You can do with or without. You get a little tamping station here too, so the portafilter sits nicely on this stand. The tamper has a little home beside it as well, which is fantastic. I really liked that when I first opened up this machine and used it. Thought it was a really nice and clean way to have all of your accessories in one. So that is the La Specialista Arte Evo from Delonghi. Quite a bit of programmability here and quite a few beverage options as well. We also have now on the Smeg, we have not as many buttons. So it's very minimal. The programming and everything like that is very easy and very, it's just very simple on the Smeg. I really enjoy it though. So you have your single dose, double dose. So whether you have a single basket in or a double basket, single shot, double shot, and that's it. On the side, you have a little knob here. To turn it backwards, you're going to be activating the hot water. The hot water on this unit comes out of the steam wand, whereas on the Delonghi, you have a designated spout. The Smeg, you turn it forward once, you're going to have the first level of steam. If you turn it again, just a little bit further, you'll have your second level. So you have two different levels of steam pressure on this unit. So if you're steaming for something that is a larger quantity, using the higher pressure steam is better. You're going to be able to steam faster, have more control, the milk's not going to sit there. And same goes if you're steaming a smaller amount, say for a cortado or maybe a flat white. Using the lower level of steam will give you more control, especially when you're first starting out. So programming on the Smeg, when you're programming your dose, you're just going to press and hold. When you think you have the correct dose, you're going to click the button a second time, and then it will save your preferences for next time. Now, the pros and cons to that are it's easy. You're not adding anything to the front here, and it's simple. Like it's very straightforward way to dose out coffee. The negative to that is you don't know how much you're dosing. So if you are somebody that likes to know where you're at, so on the Delonghi you have numbers. So right now I know that we're just over number 20 for our dose level. I'll know that for next time and I'll be able to make an adjustment based on numerical values as opposed to just eyeballing it. I personally, I don't prefer one way over the other, really. As somebody who's poured a lot of espresso, the eyeballing works fine for me. I have a decent judgment as to how much coffee I should be dosing out. So if you're starting out, it may be a little intimidating to dose out your coffee that way. But if you stick with the same bean, you're not really gonna have to change anything. Both of these units have the onboard grinders, like I mentioned, and the grind adjustment is located on the hopper. So on the Smeg, you're going to turn the whole hopper, and on the Delonghi, you have a little knob here that's going to assist you in adjusting your grind size. The Smeg has many more grind sizes than the Delonghi. I think the Delonghi only has about 8. Yeah, and the Smeg has 15. So you're able to get a more precise grind size on the Smeg than you are on the Delonghi because you have more selection. It also leaves more room for error having more grind sizes, but if you want to get really specific, this would be a really great option. The machines are priced, they're kind of within the same realm of pricing. So the Delonghi is priced at just about 1,050 Canadian. And the Smeg is priced at just about 1,300 Canadian, and that's regular price. You know, these machines go on sale. They both have around a 2-liter reservoir, and their heat up times are really similar too. It's just around that 30-second mark, so it's pretty quick. Which is pretty standard for a thermoblock heating system as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna brew some coffee on these machines. We're gonna pull some espresso shots. I'm gonna use the steam one to do a direct comparison. I know from using the Smeg that the steam wand is very good. So is the Delonghi. If you wanted to watch our review on the Smeg, you can also check that out, and we'll put that in the top corner for you too. Full review of that machine here. Okay, so let's get brewing. I am going to start off with my Smeg unit actually and pull a shot off of here, and then we'll go over to the Delonghi. I'm not going to pour the cold brew on the Delonghi. only because we've already done it. I'm doing a direct comparison between espresso and steam wand. Smeg does not have the cold brew function, so if you're a cold brew drinker, you might as well just forget about that one. Just go with the Delonghi. Okay, so let's get brewing. I'm going to press my double dose, and it's going to automatically grind. The Smeg is pretty quiet. I mean, it is a grinder, so it does, of course, make noise, but for a burr grinder, it's pretty quiet. Right, pull this out. So that's a nice dose there. I do have these dialed in, so the shot should be coming through well. I do like the Smeg tamper, has a really nice weight to it. It's stainless steel, it's heavy, and I like the 58 millimeter portafilter too. There we go. Little home up top for it. Okay, looks good. That up. All right, so got my mug. I'm gonna pour my espresso now. So since I dosed out and ground for a double shot, I'm going to click the double shot button as well. So it's got two little cups here. The machine's going to do a pre-infusion, and then it's going to extract the espresso. And we're going to watch the espresso pour, watch the needle rise. There we go. Okay, pour it a little fast, but the crema looks really, really beautiful on here. You can see it settling. Yeah, that looks great. That's going to taste good with some steamed milk. Okay, let's, I'm gonna just steam the milk on the Smeg. I was going to pull a shot from the Delonghi and do a comparison that way, shot for shot, steam for steam, but we'll make the full beverage on the Smeg, and then we'll make the full beverage on the Delonghi as well. So I've got some milk just behind me here, and I'm going to grab my steaming pitcher, put my milk in. Maybe a little bit more. I have a little bit of leftover milk, but that's okay. All right, so let's do a little bit of a purge on the steam wand. So the Smeg has a dual thermoblock heating system, which means that you can't brew and steam at the same time, but it is heated up and ready to go for steaming immediately after you're brewing your espresso. So no waiting, which is nice, but you can't do them at the same time. So I'm on the more powerful steam setting. I like this steam wand. I wish it was a little bit longer and a little bit more mobile, but that's totally okay. I mean, that's more of a personal preference. Heats up very fast, so like the milk's already really warm. Just getting a bit of a spiral going. I've got to turn this milk off, otherwise it's going to start to burn. There we go. Yeah, nice and hot. Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, milk looks nice. There's a few small bubbles in there, but that's user error, not the machine. Okay, nice. It's hot milk. and espresso. I know it's going to taste delicious. It does. Yeah, that's really nice. The steam wand on the Smeg, it's nice and powerful. The steam doesn't come off too harshly. It comes out very soft, but still with enough force behind it to produce a nice steam. The wand is short, so you do have to be careful with how much milk you're using in your jug, especially if you're using the jug that you got from Smeg. So we steamed a smaller amount, so I really had to have my jug up to be able to submerge the wand at all. Longer wand would be nice, but not the end of the world. Yeah, it's a good steam wand. Like it's a good steam wand, you'll make good steam with it. The dialing in on the Smeg I find very easy to do. However, I find that I make more adjustments on the Smeg than I am on other machines. So for instance, like we have this machine dialed in, and then I find even after 3 shots, it's pouring drastically differently. So I don't know whether that's the environment that we have it in when we have such fluctuating temperatures, or if that's a machine thing, if it's specific to this unit. Making the adjustment though to dial in the espresso again is not a huge change. It's usually just a grind size or two, maybe upping or lowering the dose a little bit. But I do notice that you do have to make a little bit more frequent of the dialing in changes, which is totally okay, but just something to keep in mind if you're shopping around. Okay, I'm going to make a drink on the Delonghi machine now. So we're gonna pour the espresso, steam the milk, and get going. All right, so I'm gonna grind my espresso. I'm gonna click OK so that the machine turns on first, which is very helpful. So it's just heating, but I can still grind when it's heating, so that's fine. If you don't follow us on any of our social media channels, make sure to check us out. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We have, you know, kind of shorter clips as well of some of these reviews, which are helpful. You get it in like a little bite-sized piece. Okay, see, I'm taking the doser off the dosing funnel. It's just a personal thing. I like to see what I'm tamping. Yeah. Okay, clean that up a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So we've got our 51. Put that up. Now on the Smeg, I only had one button to worry about, but on the Delonghi, I do have to make sure that I am set to espresso. So I see that the espresso is illuminated on the machine, so that means I'm going to be pouring for espresso. You can also see here I'm at maximum heat. So if I wanted to change that, I would just press the button here. It would be low, medium, or high heat. Most people prefer to have it on the high because they do want a warm cup of coffee. You're not going to get a cool cup of coffee if you're on the lower, but it will affect how the espresso extracts and the flavor of it. Okay, I'm gonna click OK. You can hear the pump going, so we're gonna do a little bit of pre-infusion, and then our needle is going to continue to rise as we start pouring. That's a nice shot. Yeah. I actually think the shot coming out of the Delonghi is a little bit nicer than the shot we pulled from the Smeg. Same beans too. Surprise, surprise, we're using Colombian espresso. Yeah, this smells more even, a little bit less acidic. Yeah, the chocolate notes are really coming through. Okay, grab some milk, my little jug. So when I used the Delonghi last, I noted that the steam wand wasn't mobile, and it's one of the complaints I've had about the Delonghi steam wands. However, my opinion dramatically changed after using it because it was such a good steam wand. So I'm quite looking forward to using it again. Just going to click my steam. Okay. Just running a bit of a purge. Unlike the Smeg, it's not heated up and ready to go right away. It does take a little bit of time for the wand and system to heat up and be ready to steam. So now that I've done a purge, my wand is preheated, all of that good stuff, I'm going to click steam and get going. Yeah, look at the vortex on this. I do think I prefer the wand on the Delonghi. Yeah, really nice. Oh, and that milk is getting hot too, so it heats up really fast. You can see that milk moving around. I really like that, and oh my gosh, again, really perfect milk. So that's 2 for 2 with this machine. 2 times perfect milk, I love that. Little heart as well. Yeah, that milk was really good. So the wand on the Delonghi is definitely a nicer steam wand to use, and it will produce better milk with greater ease. So you'll be able to replicate the same milk on the Smeg. It's just, you have to maybe play with it a little bit more to be able to position the jug correctly. I struggled a little bit to get a vortex going, and I found on the Delonghi it was just, like, it just happened. It was very quick, very easy. The flavor in this one, too, is really good. The milk is a lot creamier, and that is because of how it was steamed, the vortex. Less small bubbles. It was a true microfoam that I was producing on the Delonghi. The Smeg was more just like foamed milk, steamed milk. Still good. I do prefer using a 58mm portafilter. I think that you can get a better shot. It's just the way it is. It has to do with, like I said, the coffee distribution. But both machines are great. So if you're somebody that is very interested in cold brew, or you're going to be drinking iced beverages frequently, the Delonghi would be for you. If you're a little tight on space, the Delonghi is also a really great option. And if you're starting out, it's fantastic because it cuts down on those grind sizes. So you don't have as much room for that error and as much need to make those adjustments as you do when you have more grind sizes. Now on the Smeg, first of all, it's gorgeous. It's so cute. I love the retro look, really, really nice. The 58mm portafilter and tamper are a professional size. So if you're wanting to get that like really good dialed in espresso, then this is for you. You also do need to be more comfortable with being able to dose correctly and dial in the espresso correctly, because you have more grind sizes to choose from and you're not on a dial dosing system, you're just eyeballing it. So it's a little bit of playing around. Like I said though, you shouldn't need to make too many adjustments if you're not changing your beans. Maybe just a grind size here or there. The steam wand on the Smeg, I do like it. Don't get me wrong, it's really powerful. You can produce a really nice steam. It just isn't as great as the Delonghi. They really hit it out of the park with their steam wand on this machine. Yeah, both machines are fantastic though. Same size bean hopper approximately as well. Little heating trays up top. Pressure gauges, which makes the espresso pouring experience just a little bit easier and nicer. Yeah, so I mean, I love both of these machines. The Delonghi is kind of pulling through in first place for me right now, just between the comparisons, even though it has a smaller portafilter, which is funny. Yeah, really great, really, really great machines. Well, let me know what you guys think. Which one do you prefer, the Delonghi or the Smeg? Let us know down in the comments. And remember to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with us. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.